Many still say, as Gary goes, so goes the region. If so, we need to hear from its dynamic mayor, Karen Freeman-Wilson. She's with us, so don't go away. Running a business requires smart decisions every day. Make a good decision for your company today and reach other businesses by sponsoring Lakeshore Focus. People who watch our show are an active part of the community. They care about their neighborhoods, schools, and their homes. Are these viewers your customers? Well, they should be. To learn about all the benefits of sponsoring Lakeshore Focus, give us a call at 219-756-5656. And instead of seeing my face, you can see your business. Welcome again to Lakeshore Focus, a weekly show highlighting the key issues, important events, and interesting people in our region. I'm Keith Kirkpatrick. Being the mayor of a city like Gary, Indiana must be a challenging job each and every day. It's a position easily targeted for criticism and attack. Amazingly, I hear many positive comments made about the current head of this city and what she is doing to address the many challenges. It is my pleasure, and I say that with great sincerity, to introduce a well-known face in leadership, Mayor Karen Freeman-Wilson. How'd you like that introduction?
Oh, well, I'm very humbled. Thank you, Keith. I'm telling you.
Well, I think you deserve that, because I think being a mayor has to be one of the toughest jobs around. But you make it look like it's fun.
Well, it's certainly a challenging job, but it is by far one of the most rewarding jobs that I've ever had. So I think that's why it looks a lot easier than it is, because it's so enjoyable.
Is it truly rewarding, or do you make it that way?
No, I think it's rewarding because you get an opportunity to see your work up close. You get an opportunity to see the results. Just today, I was sitting with a group of students who were designing benches for a little park that we have designated for seniors. And the love of these sixth graders as they designed, thought about what's best for the seniors in the community was just so endearing to me. When you get a chance to say things like that day in and day out, it does make your job rewarding.
Well, you pointed out two really interesting pieces to that. First of all, you get great pleasure from the little successes.
Oh, absolutely.
And second is you just really enjoy the people.
The people, I believe, are what makes this job as rewarding as it is. Whether it is interacting with seniors in our community, whether it's interacting even with people who may have concerns, complaints. I sent an email today about one of my favorite subjects these days, potholes. And, you know, while the answer wasn't necessarily what the woman wanted to hear, I'm sure, it was an answer that she appreciated, and she indicated that she did. And so the ability to talk to, interact with, try to solve problems for and with people is really something that I relish.
So you're telling me you even find joy in dealing with the pothole situation? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
You have to find joy in that. I mean, I'm not saying it's enjoyable, but you have to find joy in the most unlikely places.
So how do you do that? Because being in an elected office, particularly today, I think it's always been tough, but it seems today, man, everybody wants to attack the people who are in positions like yours. How do you deal with the people who just really come at you? You know, just you can't do anything right for these folks.
Well, in many instances, when you have people who are just consistently critical, consistently negative, it is most times based on an experience or experiences that they have had with other people in government, other elected, non-elected officials. And when you look at it that way, it makes it less likely that I will personalize a negative comment, a negative gesture that may be commented or made to me, but really not directed towards me. So when I have it in that context, it makes it a lot easier to have a conversation, to attempt to diffuse any tension or negativity that might be there. And you just can't internalize, even when it's directed at me. I don't internalize it because I understand that a lot of times people don't operate with all of the information I have. All they know is they want what they want when they want it, and they don't understand what is entailed in trying to provide them with the services that they are seeking or that they desire.
Well, you know, people are one side of it. The other side of it is just sometimes things go wrong. Just stuff falls apart. How do you deal with the stress of that, of just, you know, bad news, bad news, bad news, or even people who just after a while it's like, oh, this is just kind of, how do you deal with the stress?
Well, the
Personally.
good news is that with every piece of bad news we get 3 pieces of good news. So balance has a lot to do with it. And then the other aspect is that my faith life has a role in it because I don't start the day without prayer. I don't start the day without really asking for divine guidance. I've been reading a lot about Solomon, and that is sort of this guidepost for me, if you will. But I also have really been practicing patience as I've matured. I wasn't always patient as a younger woman, and there are times when I'm not as patient as I could be. A lot of times I think about the fact that I'm racing to get things done because I know how urgent it is. And sometimes people probably think, man, is she moving fast? She doesn't take time to let us catch up. But, you know, there's an urgency about the needs that we have, about the needs that our community has, and about the importance to get things done as quickly as we can, but to also do it in a very thoughtful and deliberate way so that we are really ensuring that we have a long-term sustainable answers to some of the challenges that we face.
How did you grow that patience? Because, you know, your own admission as a younger person, you weren't as patient. You know, I want to get it done. I want to have it now. I want to accomplish something. How did you grow that patience?
I think what I found is that it's important to be patient because my experience is that when I've done things hastily or when I've pushed forward hastily, there are things that don't get done and that need to be done in order to achieve success. And so you may have a measure of success, but it's certainly not the level of success that you would like to see, whether you're talking about a specific project in the city, whether you're talking about an initiative that you wanted to undertake. And so it has really made me a lot more cautious.
Well, I know a lot of people look at Gary and just, you know, the problems almost to the outside look insurmountable. Just, you've got your plate definitely full and you're trying to recover from just this, all these things that happened. What's kind of your vision? I mean, what would you would like to say in 10 years, I would love to paint a picture of Gary that looked like this?
Well, one of the things that I always remind folks is that sometimes when they look at the cover of a book, the old adage that you can't judge a book by its cover, then if Gary is the book and you look at one aspect, you can't really judge the city by one aspect of what people see. I've had people to drive down an avenue or street and say, I drove down this street and it looks deplorable. And they may have driven for 3 blocks. And those 3 blocks, I would agree, are deplorable. But if you keep driving, you see something that says, wow, I didn't even know this was in Gary, or this is really beautiful. So I really have to place that in context when people say that. And there are times where I challenge their judgments. When people make a cursory or just a judgment that's based on limited information, to say to them, you know, I think you're really making a decision based on limited information, and I'd like to share with you some of the positive things that are going on, some of the successes that are being achieved, and most importantly, particularly for those who live in the city, but also some who live out, here's how you can help make it better. Because, you know, if you're not going to work towards the greater good, then particularly for residents, I think you lose the license to criticize.
So I like the book analogy. That comparison is really good. And you know that a lot of people to the outside are looking at the cover of the book
Absolutely.
because they don't really see the inside. And that's one challenge. The other challenge, though, is you got people who are on the inside, who can see the inside of the book, and but still have a hard time conveying the positive side of what the content of that book is. How do you deal with that?
Well, you know, over and over, we try to provide as much information about the places and the areas where we are succeeding. I mean, you know, we are the only city in the state that received $1 million from the Bloomberg Foundation for a public art project. We are one of the largest recipients over the last 5 years of Knight Foundation money. We have a variety of partnerships that aren't just governmental partners, which are, you know, state, federal government. That's not unusual, county government, but also we have individual partners, organizational partners. We have philanthropy organizations. And so to have this wide array of folk who say, we want to help Gary, we want to help rebuild Gary, we want to see the success. I was just over at one of our local schools where they had over 150 volunteers to come in during the course of the semester to teach many courses to the students there about whatever subject they chose. I taught about advocacy. And
Because you're good at that.
well, you know, I think I'm a pretty good advocate, a pretty good cheerleader, a great lobbyist, and that's what I was talking to the young people at Steel City Academy about, and they were just on fire. So when you have the opportunity to get as many partners, as many folks who say, yeah, we know there are challenges, but we want to focus on the solutions. Yeah, we know that there are some resource issues, but we think that there are things that can be done to bring about positive change that aren't solely dependent on the availability of resources.
There's got to be a very important message in that, to not just the partnerships, but the fact that you've got these outside groups who say,
Right.
we believe what you're doing is the right thing. You're going the right direction. Otherwise, why would they want to throw money into this thing?
Right.
Because they see that good. What kind of experience are you having on more of a national or broader basis? I mean, when you run into people, and I know you go to conferences and you go to DC, and I mean, what kind of feedback are you getting, or what do you hear for your leadership in this community from the outside, from the bigger outside?
Well, it's very humbling because it's an overwhelmingly positive response. People talk about the progress that we're making so often, and you know, you see this when you see your children every day, or when you are in your home every day. You don't see the positive changes that are occurring because you see folks every day. And so when people are not here and they don't see every day what's happening in the city, when they are able to make those observations and when they see the positive things that have happened at Marquette Park, the growth that is occurring on Lake Street, when they see all of the positive change that is being made, they are very complimentary. But I'm always quick to say that it is a team effort. We have a wonderful council and a great working relationship. Our judge, our clerk, the folks who I'm honored to work with in City Hall every day, those in the community, whether they be individual citizens, and we have some phenomenal individual citizens who volunteer on a weekly basis, but we also have a great relationship with the corporate community. All of those folk, all of those organizations factor in, and so when people are complimentary at the national level, I am always quick to point them towards a group of folks that that do the work.
Well, you've got some great staff people, and they're very funny from time to time too.
Well,
So, tell me or share with us what's one of the greatest compliments you've got outside of. I mean, what did somebody say one time that you're like, wow, that really felt good?
Well, the greatest compliment I've gotten is folks who come up to me and say, I'd love to work with your team. Or it's, we want to come to Gary and help out because you all have such great things going on. And I think the other compliment, and we just got this recently, with all of the flooding that's going on, they said, this is the best community that we've worked in. People have been so helpful, so supportive, so easy to work with. And I think that's not a compliment to me. It is a compliment to a larger team of folk who work hard every day.
How come people don't get to hear that message as much as they get to hear, here's another problem in Gary, and here's another murder in Gary, and here's, they hear those negative things, but these pieces don't seem to get out to people as readily?
Well, I think that people are very slow. I know this is true for me, and I think it's also true for people on our team. We are too slow to toot our own horn, and modesty is really a great trait to have. Modesty, humility, those are very important. At the same time, when there are folks who are much quicker to talk about the negativity, and they're not slow to talk about that, then you have to be able to put that humility aside, place it in context, and to talk about the good things that are happening. I mean, we've undergone a tremendous paving program in the city of Gary. We've done wonderful things with art in partnership with groups like the Miller Beach Arts and Creative District. There are any number of events that we have every year that has showing in galleries, that has outdoor, where we have outdoor events. All of those are positive things that happen in Gary. And so, we have to let people know about the positive things that we have happening, about the positive initiatives. We just did a nature play park that is a huge hit with an outdoor nature classroom. Those are some of the things that we need to make people aware of.
I think you're right. This piece of humility does seem to get in the way. I think people misinterpret it sometimes.
Yes.
And you need to be able to say, we've accomplished this, or this has happened, because otherwise who really knows these things? So can you get the people to share more of that, you think?
We are. In fact, we're not only going to share more, we're going to do it in a variety of forums. I know you do YouTube, and so we're going to do YouTube more. We're going to do the social media more in terms of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but we're also going to use traditional news outlets or traditional informational outlets, newsletters. We have a public access channel. We need to use that better and use it more, because one thing we know is that we have a very large senior population in our city, and our seniors, they love to read the newspaper and they love to read whatever pamphlet, leaflet is handed out, and so we want to give them some information to read.
You still got those readers there, right?
Oh yeah.
So how long do you see yourself in that role? Kind of what do you look up ahead? I mean, are you going to be mayor forever kind of thing? Or
well,
what?
I can guarantee you I do not aspire to be mayor forever. At the same time, this isn't a stepping stone. I'm in my dream job. It is my honor to serve the citizens of my community, especially my hometown. And when I look ahead, I certainly look forward to taking another run at the office. That'll be next year, but I think that would complete what I've been blessed to have as a very colorful career, a very successful career by outside standards.
What do you hope that people will remember about your leadership?
I think that I'm hoping that people will remember that I tried to be fair, that I was solely focused on providing opportunity to people I refer to as legacy residents, those who have really stuck with Gary through thin and thin. I think that's so important. And that I also wanted to make Gary an inviting place for new residents. At every public meeting that I go to, there is at least one person or one couple who come up to me and say, "We just moved into Gary." And I thank them for being there and celebrate their presence, because that shows that we're moving in the right direction. At the same time, every day I run into folks who say, "I've lived in Gary 35 years, I lived in Gary 50 years, I've lived in Gary 20 years. I celebrate those residents just as much, because it shows that despite the challenges, that they have stuck with the city and have been faithful.
Well, I hope people look at your leadership and can learn something from the way you do things, the attitude you take, the approach you take, because I think it's just exemplary of what a leader should be doing, and you've got a really challenging situation. So I thank you for all that leadership you provide and for being the kind of person you are.
Well, thank you. I appreciate always the opportunity to talk to, work with you. The foundation that you've laid at Leadership Northwest Indiana for both adults and young people is something that will be a legacy for years to come.
Well, thank you. We have a complimentary little thing going here.
How about that?
Thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith.
All right. When we talk about the conditions and challenges of Gary, it seems natural that people would ask why or how did this happen? I think the same question could be asked about towns and cities of all sizes throughout the country. When you analyze the why or how, you must add the who, what, when, and where. Every situation has its unique circumstances, yet there are some common themes. Our tendency is to try and find a simple explanation which usually affixes blame to a specific group or factor. That is unfair and inaccurate. It's the lazy way. The deterioration or downfall of any community is comprised of a complex set of issues. It begins when a place like Gary significantly and noticeably declines over time from the vital, thriving city it once was. When people feel attached to and responsible for the previous success, they experience a deeper sense of loss. At that point, there is more pain for them and a stronger need to place blame. Let's consider some of the factors which contribute to downfalls. There is not necessarily a fault model of sequence and connection, but there are common issues. I'm going to use the figurative we as a representation of the culture which impacts these factors, and we, all of us, far and wide, are part of it. We don't want to fix or repair our house. Oh, the cost and hassle. We like newer, more efficient, more convenient. We grow tired of what we have and want to change or have more. We want to make money on every real estate transaction. We refuse to live near the poor people. Actually, we want to be with people like us. Our communities planned or didn't. We enforced rules or overlooked them. We recruited younger, cheaper labor and did not have great plans on where they lived, or we segregated them. We fought and argued rather than find mutually beneficial solutions. We thought our economies would not change, relied too much on one employer or sector for jobs. Our tax base shifted, but we didn't anticipate it or modify it when it did. We did not learn from the mistakes and trends of other communities. We believed it wouldn't happen to us. When things got tough, we bailed. We participated in a culture of selfishness. The blame was never ours, it belonged to someone else. If we want to keep our communities vital and thriving, we need to learn from the past, accept responsibility, and basically reverse how we handled these issues. If we do not, we will continue our patterns, and it may happen in the town where you live now. We hope you learned something from our show, and we would like to hear from you. Your comments are helpful. On your screen, you will see our website and email address, which are ways to reach us. Focus shows are available after airing. Check our website and YouTube. If you subscribe to our Facebook page, you will be notified of upcoming guests and content. Be sure and join us again next week for another Lakeshore Focus. Until then, I'm Keith Kirkpatrick saying, make a positive difference in our world today. Running a business requires smart decisions every day. Make a good decision for your company today and reach other businesses by sponsoring Lakeshore Focus. People who watch our show are an active part of the community. They care about their neighborhoods, schools, and their homes. Are these viewers your customers? Well, they should be. To learn about all the benefits of sponsoring Lakeshore Focus, give us a call at 219-756-5656. And instead of seeing my face, you can see your business.